you ever seen that? Ever seen anyone lift their pecs up from their throat?
Just worked it out today.
Even use your knuckles. You can get your knuckles in there, just like gently, just kind of give it a bit of like a scrape and rub. Get those muscles to just give and go. Don't realize how much of them sit quite tight because how often do we do this motion?
Hey guys, Ninja, Elliot here.
Yo.
It's another episode of Ninja's Bloody Obscure Anatomy. So I just did it just right. Anyway, this muscle freaked me out so much, I had to get in an expert on anatomy. Aaron was freaked out. He said, nah, I'm not going anywhere near that one. But Elliot's brave enough to have a go at the OMOHYOID bone. Oh, muscle.
That's a muscle.
Yeah, the hyoid bone is what it attaches onto, and the scapula. So it's just a freaky fucking muscle. It's got two bellies. It's got a tendon in the middle. So we can zoom in on that one. Where is it, man?
That's the omohyoid muscle. There's two parts to it, the two bellies, the superior belly and the inferior belly. That's the hyoid bone, so it's attached to that, and the other end is attached to your scapula. How weird is that?
If we can, I'll just show you the bit that I freak out at, mate. See that white strap just there? It goes over from the front of your collarbone to the back of your collarbone, it goes over, and then that muscle goes in between it. So it's sort of like keeps it in place, doesn't it? So what's the main function of this muscle, man?
Well, apparently see the way it's attached to that bone up there. So when we swallow, that bone goes up, and then after we swallow and we need to breathe, that bone needs to come down. So that muscle reflexively contracts to pull that bone down. So you do it every time you swallow, you start using that muscle. Yeah, I'm going to try.
Look at this, man. I've got some raw vegan cake for you, mate. Do you want to have a try? Have a bite, swallow it. Tell me what you think of that cake as well.
That's bloody cake.
It's good, isn't it?
That's bloody good cake.
Bloody bit of goji berry and blueberries and strawberry. So when you swallow, let's
So the bone's a bit above here, so when I swallow, like that, the bone goes up, and as it drops down, that muscle contracts to pull it down. Yeah. So happens by reflex. When everything's working fine and functioning well, that muscle is going to help clear the airway to allow you to breathe well. But where can it go wrong? Well, apparently we just found out it can go wrong a couple of ways. One is whiplash. So car accidents, you're going to whip your head forward there. A lot of things are going to get overstretched and irritated, and then you have a lot of dysfunction in your neck muscles, but as well as your swallowing muscles. It presents as a bit of a pain in your collarbone. So when there's a bit of problem with that muscle there, it's not doing that action properly, you're going to have some trouble swallowing, but also you're going to feel that pain in your collarbone. And then the second main cause of it is excessive vomiting. So out in the piss a bit. Having a big night, you can get that clench and that over contraction of the musculature through there, and that can put some muscles out of action there. Yeah. So if you get some of that collarbone pain there, it's common for us to treat into the pec, into the subclavius, into some of these scalenes as well that attach down into one of Ninja's famous muscles, the platysma, as you can see right down there. Have you ever seen that? Ever seen anyone lift their pecs up from their throat?
Just worked it out today.
Actually, never seen that before, but there you go. That's something that can happen.
It's all fascial.
Fascial connections there. So we can be treating those muscles, but we can also be looking to some of the more obscure ones as well, like the omohyoid muscle.
Yeah, and we're thinking, if you've got collarbone pain, it must be that strap that's going over that tendon. It's in the middle of the muscle. It must be pulling on that. So there'd be kind of stress and tension in that part. And you can see with me, I've actually broken my collarbone before, so I've got a bit different patterning or different places it goes, So,
yeah, see that lump there?
So I reckon I can feel my omohyoid, that strap, in here somewhere. Because it's just a distinct feeling. You don't have to go that hard on it, but it's just sort of one of those ones. It's going to be near the surface, and but it's one of those ones that you could have problems with one day. So if you're a practitioner out there, I think it might be a bloody omohyoid that's fucked, and they'll think you're just a fucking genius.
So when we look into this area here, the hyoid bone. Yeah, it's like sort of above the Adam's apple. So there's Ninja's Adam's apple there. Above it is where the bone would be. The Adam's apple is in front of where your larynx is, and the cartilage behind that Adam's apple bit there, is known as the thyroid cartilage. So above it is where the hyoid bone is. We might be able to feel it if we gently press from the sides there. You can just bring your chin down a tad, just to get some tension off. And then, yeah, I think that's the bone there.
Yeah, I can feel it. Yeah.
So that bit there, it's a bit wider than the cartilage underneath. But that's the bone that goes up and down when we're swallowing. So when we swallow, it goes up, and then as soon as we finish swallowing, it comes down, the muscle pulls it down. So that's how we can trace where that muscle would sit. Obviously, muscles don't work in isolation, they work as chains, and the whole area can get dysfunctional as a result of excessive vomiting and whiplash.
Yep.
So we see this in whiplash a lot, like, people get pain in the neck there, but also the muscles around the throat and deep in through here can get quite dysfunctional and locked up. Doesn't necessarily present as pain in the throat, it usually presents as pain in the neck and sometimes chronic headaches. So when we push into this area there, it can get quite sensitive. So I am sort of feeling around for those deep neck flexors, and amongst them would be the OMOHYOID muscle there. I don't know if I could really feel it specifically, but it would be amongst the mess of muscles through here.
Yeah.
So if you try and explore this yourself, it's very, just do it delicately. You can only go wrong if you press hard enough and you start to feel a bit faint in the head or blurry vision. That you might be squeezing on a bit of a vessel there, but if you feel just a tension and a bit of sensitivity, that's mostly just soft tissue and muscle. Yeah. And the thing about the throat and trachea is it's actually quite mobile. You can actually move it side to side like that. So if I push it to the side there, you can also dig down and feel some of those muscles there. And it could be why you're getting some discomfort into your collarbone. I think I might have experienced this before. I had a mild case of whiplash in basketball, ran into a wombat of a dude. It was like a bit of a brick wall, and I remember hitting him with my shoulder, my head whipped, and I felt this pain in my collarbone. So there's a good chance that muscle became a bit dysfunctional from that bump.
Yeah. Wombat's a good nickname too.
Solid bloke.
Yeah, no, eats roots, shoots and leaves.
What's that?
Eats roots, shoots and leaves.
Eats roots, shoots and leaves.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got any mates? Maybe you can call them Wombat.
Eats roots, shoots and leaves.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good time. So another thing as well is that when you're exploring this area on yourself or on another person, there's this big strap of muscle here known as the SCM or sternocleidomastoid.
I've got good ones.
Yeah, they can stick out. So you you turn your head, there we go, yeah. So it's actually turning your head the other way an inch. We'll go this way and turn your left ear down. That's the way, there it comes.
There we go.
There we are.
Wow.
So that's the sternocleidomastoid there. Big mover of the head, but it can sometimes work as a stabilizer when we get that whiplash. And when it becomes dysfunction, we can get some pains and discomfort in that. But because we're looking at those deeper muscles, you just want to know where that is, so you can sort of scrape it aside and then go in and explore some of those deeper muscles there. So if we're treating the OMOHYOID that is, we're coming off where that bone is, tracing it where it should be lying through here, and then probably disappears amongst the mess of neck muscles here.
Yeah, it's still good. You can really feel that.
And yeah, you can just take our time there and just like even give some of the muscles a bit of a squeeze. Just be careful as well when you push into this area that you might get a tickle in the client's throat. There's a bit of a cough button, I find. So if that happens, that's okay. Just let the person swallow, take a few breaths, and then...
Oh, just there, man. That's really good. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, what I'd probably like to say, do this on yourself, and like don't use any cream, any oil, any wax on your hands, and just, it's more of a stretching type of thing. We're trying to stretch things out and move around and feel for where the different stagnant spots are, where they're painful and stuck, and just pin and hold and stretch slowly. And then that way you can kind of tell if you're kind of into your windpipe, you don't want to, choke yourself or suffocate yourself and things like that. You can really tell when you're on the vulnerable kind of spots. But yeah, just that slow drag. And feel for that strap.
Go gentle. So I can pin it like this. Here's my windpipe. I'm doing it on myself now. If I go against that's my SCM there. So just on the inside of that and next to the windpipe there, pushing straight back, I can feel those deep muscles. And as I go to lift my chin up there, I'm stretching the throat. So as you're lifting up there, what we're trying to do is find some length in this tissue here. We're trying to get it to release, get it to slide, get it to be a bit more functional. Because if it's all bound up and tight as we kind of come up there, it's just not going to let things move, and that's how we get some pinching. So what's the right feeling? A good feeling is as I lift my chin up there, I feel like a stretching sensation through the front of my throat. You can feel it attach all the way up under the jaw there too. So all this can be sticky and tight, which can lead to the neck dysfunction, but as well as the headaches that some people suffer after some whiplash. And if you're not sure, you're a bit cautious, even use your knuckles. You can get your knuckles in there, just like gently, just kind of give it a bit of like a scrape and rub. Get those muscles to just give and go. You don't realize how much of them sit quite tight, because how often do we do this motion? Right?
Yeah. So you just tune into what feels therapeutic. And like I can feel things going up into here. I'm probably not on the OMOHYOID, but I'm on good stuff. And the next little challenge for you, man, how are we going to get to the other end of that thing?
I was just thinking that.
How are we going to do that?
I was just thinking that. Let's have a quick look at the map again. So
Yeah.
we'll find another picture.
So show them my scapula. So that's that bone there, my shoulder blade. So it's going to be attached to the inside front of that.
Yeah.
So how are we going to get to that? I think we can get.
There's a bit of a
in
notch,
here.
it seems. So superior angle, I think it was. So your shoulder blade sort of goes like this, a bit of a triangle shape there, and it would be on the left side, kind of up in through here. So we feel the spine of the scapula, which is this part of the bone here, border, sorry, here. And just above it would be where the superior angle would be. And then the attachment point will be somewhere amongst this mix as well.
Feels good.
So hitting that area there too. Again, someone getting whiplash or excessive vomiting, they're going to have their head quite far forward and a lot of tension going through that area. So that's how that's how things can shorten and lock up. So we can hit that. Seeing a bit of flickering in the upper traps there. It's always therapeutic to work in through here. So even if you're getting your traps and levator scap and all that worked on, your therapist might also be working on your OMOHYOID.
Yeah.
OMOHYOID. OMOHYOID.
OMOHYOID. OMO. Oh! So good.
Yeah. So a whole bunch of stuff there, a bit of upper traps.
Yeah.
Bit of all scalenes.
You can probably go over and trace into that.
Oh yeah.
Through there and somehow, I reckon you're affecting it just there. That feels bang on.
Yeah, so getting some length into that area, so that's like tilting the head to the side, lifting the chin up there, give us a bit of a swallow as well. You know, maybe we might be able to find it, give us a few more swallows if we could. Yeah, I might be feeling a few things sliding around there. You know, but again, that point of how often do we lengthen this area? How often do we express this range here? You know, it is a vulnerable area. You know, you've got some vessels there, you got your windpipe there. So it's, you know, if you're under a lot of stress or if you're under a lot of feelings of anxiety and vulnerability, we want to cover these areas, don't we? So we tend to go into these defensive postures, which means that these areas can become chronically short. You don't realize you're doing it, but that's what we end up doing. And so getting that length there to stretch it, getting your hands in there to release that tension off the muscles there can do you a world of good.
Yeah, great.
Gets the region functioning better, get your swallowing and your breathing a bit more optimal as well.
Yeah. It's just sort of fascinating with the human body how it's this basic thing, but we can create water in our mouth whenever we want. You know what I mean? Like for me to swallow just then, or tears. Where the fuck are they coming from? We're incredible. This human body of ours looks. We've got water tanks in there. Where what? Salivary glands. I know they exist, but how's the fucking tears come? You know, pretty interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Have a dive into your anatomy. What do you reckon?
Yeah, give it a go. Stretch those throats out.
Obscure anatomy. Ninja's bloody obscure anatomy. Thanks for helping us out today, Elliot. That was very informative, and nobody else was brave enough to venture into my world of obscure anatomy, but Elliot is, so maybe we'll do another one when we find the next obscure anatomy.
Oh my high.
Oh my high. Oh no!